Berean Scholar. Berean Scholar. Berean Scholar. Waking up the people of the Most High. Got the knowledge to destroy the lies. DNA history, open eyes. Walk into the darkness and turn on the lights. Wake up, wake up.
Israel is God's chosen people, always have been God's chosen people, always will be God's chosen people.
8 accused child sex predators are now off of our streets after a major undercover operation. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Sasha Loftus.
And I'm Denise Valdez. So over the past couple of weeks, the Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, working with the FBI and several other Southern Nevada police departments, all worked to make these arrests. 8 News Now reporter Nick Summer joining us live from the newsroom with the story of at least one of those accused. He's a pastor, right, Nick?
Over those 2 weeks, undercover officers and federal agents posed online as children, responding to the same messages and meeting requests that real kids in our community might see. One of the men is 46-year-old Neil Harrison Creasy, a pastor at Redemption Church.
Neil Harrison Creasy appeared in court on August 8th and was booked into the Henderson Detention Center. The next day, he made bail. Investigators say the 46-year-old used a computer to try and lure children for sexual misconduct, which is a felony charge. For the past 5 years, Creasy has rented space inside the Good Samaritan Lutheran Church on West Sahara in Cimarron, where he operates his religious organization, Redemption Church. However, Lutheran church leaders tell 8 News Now Creasy has no affiliation with the Good Samaritan Church and that he is a renter. Don Seaborg with Redemption Church says they were surprised and hurt by the news and say Creasy is no longer serving in his role.
As soon as he got out of jail, within an hour or two, he contacted all of us by a thread message and basically confessed and offered his resignation. We met with him later that morning or that day, and again he confessed, and of course we had to accept his resignation effective immediately.
Of the other 7 arrested, authorities say they were meeting a child when they were actually meeting law enforcement. The undercover operation involved multiple agencies, including the FBI, Homeland Security, Metro, Henderson Police, and North Las Vegas.
$1,000 bail. His first court appearance is September 2nd at Henderson Justice Court. Reporting live in the newsroom, Nick Summer, 8 News Now.
So these agencies are urging parents to have regular conversations with their kids about the dangers of talking to strangers online, and also to monitor the apps and the social media platforms that their kids are using.
Did you hear that?
Isn't that something missing?
You gotta be kidding me.
Wait a minute. Oh!
Another one. Another one.
Israel Cyber
story.
Directorate employee arrested in U.S. on suspicion of pedophilia.
Yes.
Let me read this, and I'm going to come to.
And I actually really want Adam's opinion on this.
Okay, let me.
And
if
you
show
a picture of me right now, I'm going to be very upset.
No. Tom Artyom.
Alexandrovich,
38, a senior employee of Israel's National Cybersecurity Corps, was among 8 men arrested in Vegas, an FBI joint operation to targeting online sexual exploitation of minors, with police stating, "We would like to remind parents to discuss with their children the dangers of engaging with strangers online." Alexandrovich, charged with felony counts of luring a child with a computer for sex acts, was booked at the Henderson Detention Center and released on $10,000 bail, returning to Israel and placed on leave. As a cyber director noted, the employee updated the directorate that during his trip to the United States, he was questioned by the U.S. authorities on matters unrelated to his work, and he returned to Israel at the planned time of return. The operation conducted after 2 weeks also arrested David and a few other guys, all these other names. Go ahead, Vinny.
So, by the way, this isn't just some low-level tech nerd. This is the acting head of data and AI for Israel's National Cyber Directorate. Okay, he works directly under Bibi Netanyahu. Okay, and that arrest had the sting operation, which was the FBI, Homeland Security, and Nevada Police. They targeted these sex predators. He was in town. Remember that time we were in Vegas? They were doing that hacker, black hat hacker. It's the biggest hacker conference in the world. He was there. He's a part of AI. He was booked at Henderson Detention Center and charged with a felony for luring a child online for sex. Okay, that normally goes from 1 year to 20 years in prison. But the next day, and just like I think a couple of the guys as well, because there's 8 of them, posted a $10,000 bond. And despite he has zero diplomatic immunity, he got to go back to Israel.
Who'd you talking about?
He got to go back to Israel. Netanyahu's office put out a statement saying that he was not arrested. He was only questioned, but multiple sources, guys, The Guardian, Jerusalem Post, Israel, Times of Israel, and all confirmed, everybody, including the Henderson County. Rob, you have the police actual arrest that I put? That's the guy. That's him. Okay, he was really booked. This is no BS hearsay. He wasn't the only one caught. Among the other suspects was Pastor Neil Harrison Creasy of Redemption Church in Las Vegas. Weird. He was also arrested in the sting. He resigned from his church shortly after being released from the same $10,000 bond. Here's my only problem, guys. If you're a foreign national and you're trying to lure a child in America to have sex, you don't post bail and leave. Normally, Pat, because I did a lot of research, your passport is seized, your travel is restricted, and you're considered a flight risk, okay? The fact that he was let to go back to Israel within 24 hours means somebody, federal government, I don't know, Rob, can we try to find out who is the district attorney of Henderson County? And that's actually a really good question, in Las Vegas. It's just weird, Pat. You can't, none of those other guys, even if they posted bail, you can't leave the country. Because who's to say that you're not going to be able to come back? You can't just leave. They're supposed to take your Tom, do you know? Like, you're supposed to take your passport.
Yeah, there's flight risk. Bail is directly related to flight risk. Like Diddy, they said he's got all these private planes. He could go to Belize. He could go to somewhere. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now, he was acquitted of many of the charges, and there's some of the smaller ones that he was guilty of. But the whole discussion about Diddy's bail was flight risk.
Yeah, we don't want you to leave the country. And it's just...
More importantly, we want you to show up at the appointed time for your trial.
Yeah, and exactly, because who's to say, like, and I know they have, there's a watch group called the Jewish Community Watch, which has tracked over 60 people who are accused of sex abuse who fled back to Israel. The activists have said the real number is like around 100 with rabbis and teachers and all that stuff.
This is unbelievable. I'm in Jerusalem, and I see in a toy shop up here, David Dresden, a known sexual abuser, working in a toy shop. I'm going to go ahead and find him.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea for you to be working in a toy shop? Considering your history?
I'm in the mood.
All right.
Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. You really should keep this like an idea. I mean, the whole place you should work in. I mean, considering that you sexually abuse boys in New York.
I'm not probably there. Thank you.
I mean, I understand you have to make a living, but
I don't know if
there. Oh, yeah, sorry. This is very important. It's the most important thing. Did you ever?
I'm not speaking to you. I'm not going to sell drugs to you, okay? I don't care what you want. I'm not selling drugs. Take care. Close to. You want me to sell drugs to you? Go buy drugs by someone else. I'm not going to.
Did you ever approach these children and get? Did you ever approach these kids and get?
I'll take a picture of you too.
Yeah. You sexually abused children in New York, and now you're working at a toy store. That's pretty unbelievable. If you have to make a living, that's fine, but there's many other places to make a living. There's many other places to make a living. All right? Do you realize what you've done to these kids did you ever go and approach them? Did you ever try to apologize? Ever try to pay for their therapy? Do you realize what you did to them? The trauma that you might have caused them? Do you realize that?
No, do not like this.
Yes. Do you realize the lifetime of trauma, of shame that you caused? Yes, and I'll say this, and I'll say this to the victims who will be watching this. I'll say the shame is yours. The shame is not theirs. They had no control. They were children. You took advantage of their youth, and you sexually abused them. And now you're working at a toy store, which children come in the whole day. Unbelievable. The shame is yours. It is not the children. It is not the victims. The shame is yours.
Please. Outside.
And
please. Outside.
All right. We'll take this up. We'll take this up later.
After, okay. Come in after, okay?
Today I have a topic that is sort of a controversial subject, but nevertheless, some of these articles date back a little ways, as much as last year or even several years back. But I think it is important that we establish some context of what is being built in Israel. This is a place where tens of thousands of these people that are attracted to young children operate in Israel every year. In July alone, there were 22 cases of recorded in Israel and brought to the attention of the media. This is from Celia Jean, August 4th, 2020. This is in the Jerusalem Post. But this is important context here. Tens of thousands of operate in Israel every year, leading to about 100,000 victims annually, according to an Israeli monitoring organization. The Matzaf Association, an organization that actively keeps track of reports on in various media and centralizes the data monthly, states that in July alone, 22 cases of were reported in Israel and brought to the attention of the media. The vast majority go unreported. In Israel, tens of thousands of people operate on a daily basis without any problem, says Eliran Malki, head of the Matzaf organization. They are not deterred by police and certainly not deterred by the contemptuous rulings that come from the hands of judges in various courts. He added, citing an incident in which one particular person was let off the courts without punishment despite evidence of thousands of items found on his computer, as the court stated that it would harm his career. That's insane. The court does not count the number of victims and shows disproportionately favorable treatment of the perpetrators, according to Malki. Association gathers reports from the media in order to form statistics, as no public sex offender registry in Israel currently exists. But I imagine it would just be a gigantic red mass over the entire, part of the country that is Israeli.
There's a case of Malka Leifer, Leifer, who fled to Australia in 2008 after was abusing more than 70 girls. Okay, 70 girls, and this just shows you that Israel can drag out the extradition because we have an extradition treaty, but sometimes they're like, nah, we'll deal with it here. She wasn't sent back till 2021, and only in 2023 she was finally convicted. So here's my thing: who gives the okay for someone who was arrested for that?
So say the other story you said about Australia.
What is that? Malka Leifer fled Australia in 2008. Yeah. She was alleged for abusing 70 girls. Yeah. She went to Israel. She was an Israeli citizen. And they kept her there, and she didn't come back to face authorities in Australia till 2023.
Meaning Israel didn't release him.
Israel was like, Israel, yeah,
they kept him.
They keep him there.
So your argument here is,
how do you leave?
Why did they release? Where is he at now?
He's in Israel.
Now, where is he today?
Who? Tom Alexandrovich. Tom's in Israel. They let him go back to Israel.
He was arrested,
and he's on leave.
The luring child, released custody, has returned to Israel. Okay,
he's on leave, so he's not arrested.
Adam, what's your thoughts on this story?
First, I'm hearing it. But what's your point?
My point is how, when anybody charged of foreign national, if right now, God forbid, one of us got in trouble for something like this, which I'm just being, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Your passport and everything is, every single one of those 8 guys, your passport has to be taken at him because right now you're charged for trying to have sex with an underage kid, which, by the way, that what they were trying to do was 16 or under. Actually, it was under 16. What's to stop you from leaving the country and never coming here to face the charges? Because these are serious. This is a serious felony charge, and especially as the freaking #1 hacker guy, which horrible at his freaking job for covering his tracks. How was he allowed to leave the country and his passport not frozen?
Go after those traffickers.
Out of all the information that's getting disclosed, supposedly this administration, what do you have the least faith that we're going to come to
Epstein,
a conclusion?
For sure.
Epstein.
And I think it's because of Israel. I think when you really dig into Epstein, his entire network was Israel. It was clearly, like Ehud Barak was the ex-prime minister and the ex-head of Israeli intelligence. Leslie Wexner was one of the most powerful pro-Israeli philanthropists. The whole organization was Israel.
So
and
it
I'm
was
not saying it was all of Israel.
It was all an intelligence gathering, and
it was targeting Americans. It was targeting American officials and the American president.
Right.
And the CIA does have interest in those targets too. Elements in the CIA does. Certainly they had help from the CIA, and certainly they had help from these other organized crime and intelligence operations. But you don't, like, so for example, Dan Bongino, the new, deputy director of the FBI, he recently had this clip that went all around where he said on camera that he had a source that he trusted deeply. And he's an informed guy. He was at a Fox News interview, and the source told him that Epstein was working for an intelligence agency in the Middle East. And I don't know which one, but someone in the Middle East. And to be fair, we all already knew this. We already know who he worked for. At least I think so. But I'm looking at, okay, Dan, so if this giant group of Jewish billionaires is running a sex trafficking operation targeting American politicians and business people and stuff, you think they're working with an Arab or Muslim nation in the Middle East? Like, you think that Leslie Wexner is devoting his entire life to philanthropies on behalf of Israel, but then he's going to work for Saudi Arabia when he's doing this trafficking ring?
What's the president saying?
Well, I don't know about it. I mean, obviously I'm not involved. I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it. Other people handled it.
Did you respond to that?
I don't know anything about it. Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the various people involved. I really don't know.
Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me. I don't know. You'll have to ask Homeland Security, please.
What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments below. Please be respectful now. Don't forget to like and click the notification button. And thank you for visiting.